All right. Trying something new, man. Trying to trying something new. Uh, oh, if I should getting out of hand. Okay, put that up there. All right, man. All right, hold up. Okay. All right, let me see. Mic check. Okay, there you go. All right, let's see, man. Appreciate everybody showing up, man. This ain't gonna be a long time. Um, I just really wanted to take a walk down through Daniel Prude's case and mistreatment of people with mental illness. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know anything about Daniel Prude, he had a mental episode. Not I won't say about mental episode, not the right word for it, but fuck it. I got a whole story. Go through it right now. Hold on. Let me get this shit right. We start freestyle. I got shit right in front of me. I got a whole script. So before I do this shit, it's copyright. You know what I'm saying? Just in case. You know. Shout out to everybody in there. Shout out to everybody watching. You know, get this shit out the way real quick. Trying to hold this set up. All right. Before I get into it, it says Suicide Prevention Month. So, do what you can to help, do what you can to spread awareness and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And here's the hotline. If anybody needs the hotline, it's right there. You know what I'm saying? Let's get right into the story. Not gonna be here for a long time. All right, so when Joe Prude called Rochester, New York police to report his brother missing, he was struggling to understand why Daniel Prude had been released from the hospitals hours earlier. Um, Joe Prude described his brother's suicidal behavior. He jumped 21 stairs down to my basement head first. Joe says in the early hours of March 23rd, in a video recorded by um, responding officer's body camera. Joe's wife, Valerie, described Daniel nearly jumping in front of a train the previous day on the tracks that the train ran behind their house. The train missed him by this much, Joe says, holding his thumb and his pointer finger a few inches apart. So when the doctors called me, told me that they had released him, I'm saying, how you gonna sit here and tell me you're gonna release him when he was hurting himself? Come on, you wasn't sworn to do that. He says on the body camera footage. At that point, in the recorded conversation, it was just after 3 a.m. Joe and Valerie Prude knew only that Daniel was missing, delusional, and vulnerable. They didn't know that his next encounter with police would be fatal. Police would find Daniel minutes later, naked, acting irrationally. Because he spat in the direction of officers and allegedly said that he had the novel coronavirus. I'll put that right there. Officers placed a white hood called a spit hood over his head. When he started trying to stand up despite being restrained by handcuffs, an officer placed much of his body weight over Daniel's head. If you ever seen the video, which I'm not gonna show the video, I'll show the pictures, but I don't want to show the video because this can be a little bit graphic. But he pretty much put his body weight over Daniel's head and pushed it to the pavement, kind of like the George Floyd shit. If you need a picture of it. So Daniel Prude, he died a week later when his family took off. His family took him off of life support. The county medical examiner's autopsy described the death as a homicide and listed the immediate cause of death, complications of asphyxia in the setting of physical restraint. That death was also ruled a homicide. But after the police footage was released in early September, the incident garnered widespread attention as another example of a black man killed after an encounter with the police. Less attention has been paid to what happened to Daniel Prude in the preceding hours when he was treated and released after a psychiatric assessment at Strong Memorial Hospital run by the University of Rochester Medical Center. On March 22nd, Joe Prude had called the police about 7 p.m. because he needed help getting Daniel into the hospital. Daniel had been having problems with a PCP addiction, Joe told officers. Now, he had begun telling Joe and Valerie that people were out to get him and he wanted to die. By 11 p.m. that night, Daniel was released from the hospital. According to Joe and the police records, he was calm as hell when he got back here, Joe told the police. But that didn't last. He was fine for a little bit, and all of a sudden started acting crazy, Joe said. Hold on, let me get this right here. He told police later that Daniel asked him for a cigarette, and when he went to get one, Daniel took off running. He was barefoot, wearing only a tank top and long johns in 30-degree weather. It was cold as fuck. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about upstate New York. He was gone, track star status. He hauled ass like Carl Lewis, Joe said. Around 3 a.m., 4 hours. Let me see. 4 hours after his release. Yeah. 4 hours after his release from the hospital, emergency dispatchers started fielding calls about Daniel Prude. His brother called to report him missing, and a tow truck driver had spotted him naked and bloody on West Main Street, police records show. Police body camera footage shows that by 3:20 a.m., Officer Mark Vaughn was pressing Daniel Prude's head into the pavement. While he was restrained, Prude's breathing stopped. An ambulance crew resuscitated him, but he was in critical condition. His brain was damaged after being deprived of oxygen. He died a week later at Strong Memorial after being taken off life support. The University of Rochester Medical Center said that patient privacy laws barred from discussing the specifics of Prude's treatment and release, according to the spokesperson Chip Partner. But in general, Partner added that the hospital is bound by New York state law that requires patients to be released within 24 hours unless they have a mental illness that is likely to result in serious harm to themselves or others, and that requires immediate observation, care, and hospital treatment. So the details of Daniel Prude's encounters with law enforcement and the healthcare system offer a look into the practice of emergency psychiatry. And as in many branches of medicine in the United States, mistakes in that field are disproportionately borne by black people. Medical decisions in a case like Daniel Prude's are high stakes with very little margin for error. Dr. Ken Duckworth, Chief Medical Officer of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Emergency psychiatry assessment is very challenging, and the potential for catastrophic outcomes following your decision is very real, he said. So the hospital where Daniel Prude died has faced scrutiny before over its treatment of psychiatric patients and discharge procedures. Okay. In April 2018, federal inspectors found security officers at a hospital at the hospital that had used law enforcement restraint techniques against a pediatric psychiatry patient, breaking her arm and sending her to the emergency room. Months later, this shit going. Let's see. Months later, inspectors found the hospital discharged the patient who was in the emergency room. Salute to everybody in the chat. I see y'all in here. Let me get my shit off real quick, you know, nigga. Not trying to be in here stuttering and sputtering. You know what I'm saying? So let me get this shit off real quick. Months later, inspectors found the hospital discharged a patient who was in the emergency room with a history of dementia and multiple medical problems, despite a discrepancy in her address between her medical record and the information she had gave hospital staff. In early 2016, inspectors, yeah, K. Kira, nigga gonna be in this house stuttering and sputtering if I'm getting my shit off. So let me get my shit off. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let everybody in. We're gonna have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be here for a long time, but we can try to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? The last thing the nigga ain't trying to do is get hung up off some T's, P's, H's, and K's and shit. Nigga be here and sound like a fucking mixtape. All right, so in early 2016, inspectors found that the hospital staff had placed patients in ankle and wrist restraints without, in order to do so, placed another patient in restraints without documenting when the restraints were released. Restraints are meant to be used only with the physician's order, and federal rules require precise documentation of their use. None of these incidents at Strong Memorial Hospital garnered media attention at the time they happened, or at the time the reports were made public. Because, you know, all they care about, you know, is shit like, oh, he was on drugs, so we have to, you know what I'm saying? When the whole story before was, if he was in the right care, if he had the right care, if they would actually took time to take care of him, this whole shit wouldn't have happened. If they would listen to his brother and his sister-in-law, you know what I'm saying? His brother and sister-in-law was looking out for him. Think about it. Your brother just jumped head first down 21 flights of stairs. Let that shit marinate a little bit. Can you imagine jumping out 21 flights of stairs head first? Can you imagine doing that shit feet first? Let alone head first? You know? His brother damn near got run over by a train behind his house. You know what I'm saying? They came out there just in time to snatch him up. So they're taking care of him. They took him in to get some care, some treatment, and they dropped him off. You know what I'm saying? They felt like all they had to do was what? Give him some medicine or give him some water, some crackers and shit, or whatever the fuck they did. Some type of hoe ass shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not eating cake here. I'm drinking water. I've been kind of up under the weather. I think one of these nasty women got me sick, but we're gonna get through it. Don't worry about it. Ah, shit. So bear with me. So yeah, it's that fucking serious. You know what I'm saying? But the hospital spokesperson Chip Partner says that immediately after the 2018 inspection, the hospital changed its public safety protocol, eliminating the use of law enforcement techniques to manage a violent patient. You gotta relax. Do I got the cooties? No, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm all right. Actually, you know what I'm saying? I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? I'm big time capping over here. You know what I'm saying? Fuck y'all. All right, let's go. Shit. All right, come on, man. That shit got me breathing out my nose and shit. All right, look. Stay focused. Get this shit off. Eliminating the use of law enforcement techniques to manage a violent patient unless the patient is being arrested. In addition, update establishment and discharge protocol evidence now decrease the risk of discharging someone who is not ready to be released. Partner says these protocols were well established in 2020 and had absolutely no bearing on the evaluation or treatment of Daniel Prude on March 22nd. Daniel Prude's case is unusual. It's unusual because the consequences of doctors' decision to release him have played out so publicly, says the National Alliance of Mental Illness, Ken Duckworth. Usually, emergency room psychiatrists never find out what happens to their patients. He also said that you make a very big decision, which usually has no known outcome. You put this person in the hospital, you go on to the next patient. You send this person home, then you go on to the next patient, he explained. Ken Duckworth also added that he would not second guess the actions of Prude's hospital team in the moment. But with the benefit of hindsight, there's overwhelming evidence that he had a psychotic illness and was quite vulnerable. He says he didn't need to die. He didn't deserve to die. In the statement, URMC and it said his treatment of Prude was medically appropriate and compassionate. Several oversight organizations are investigating and still are to this day. You know what I'm saying? Little bit of an update though. Those officers that you see, you can go back to it real quick. Cause y'all niggas ain't being goofy as fuck. Talking about I got the cooties and shit. Fuck yeah. All right, look. These hoe ass niggas up back here. You know what I'm saying? That's Daniel Prude there on the pavement. Now, mind you, this is upstate New York. If you've seen the video, it's fucking sleeting at this time. It's cold as fuck. And my man's is out here butt ass naked, you know what I'm saying, on the pavement. Now, I know that police officers and shit like that, but if you're, if your duty is to protect and serve, you might want to get that man into the car, you know what I'm saying, the best way possible, or try to get him somewhere warm. Because you got him ass naked. I mean, he's ass naked. He was at, when they found him, but obviously, if anybody's out there ass naked, you know what I'm saying, he's going through something, and all this shit is documented. All this shit is documented. You know what I'm saying? If you even look closer than that, you see the spit hood up over his head. They say he was spitting and, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. Okay. Get him somewhere safe. Get him somewhere warm. Get him somewhere where he can get the treatment that he needs. You know what I'm saying? Instead of laying him on the fucking ground. You know what I'm saying? Instead of this whole ass shit right here. Laying him on the fucking ground and it's 30 fucking degrees outside. Probably feel like 20. It's upstate New York. It's sleeting, windy and shit. Get him somewhere where he can get some fucking help, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how that shit go. So it's very clear that in today's healthcare system, bias is built in structurally. All right. Seeing a tall, imposing black man who is behaving aggressively puts in place a series of ideas and thoughts and assumptions that direct decision making. Psychiatric disorders in black patients are less likely to be taken seriously than white patients. All right. The unequal treatment starts early as fuck. Excuse me. Black boys are often viewed as adults more often than white boys of the same age. And say that shit again. Black boys are viewed as adults more often than white boys of the same age. You know what I'm saying? So a black child, you got a son, you got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got a son, you know, and and say he's, you know what I'm saying? You know, hold on, just a minute. He doesn't have to necessarily be big, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, athletic build or tall or whatever. They see this as a fucking threat. So imagine us when it's a young black man after going through mental health, you know, issues. You know what I'm saying? How many of us have had partners who we kick it with every day? You know what I'm saying? Every day. Big salute. Go through the comments. But how many of us go, you know, has, you know, got partners? I had a couple partners who made a couple mistakes. Everybody fuck up, got locked up. Nigga was 17, 16, did some fucked up shit, got tried as an adult. I don't know where a lot of y'all are from. I know in Texas, they quick to call it. They are quick, real quick, to put a nigga, charge a nigga as an adult. Shit, anywhere. You pick your city, pick your state, pick your county, anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine the trials and tribulations that we all go through as young black men. But we make mistakes like everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that's locked up. I'm not gonna lie. Look, right now, I got a partner that's locked up right now in Texas. I haven't seen this nigga since uh our fifth game in my junior high school year. They picked his ass up right after the fucking game. This nigga still had his pads and shit on. You know what I'm saying? Fucked up. Solid young nigga. Made a couple decisions. You know what I'm saying? And that jammed him up. I ain't seen him since. You know what I'm saying? He dealt with mental health issues. The only person that cared for him was his mama. And a year before that, his mother died in a horrific car accident. Around the corner from the house. You know what I'm saying? So imagine all the trauma that we go through. You know what I'm saying? And I know I see Room Shaker. She said that they didn't treat me like this too. You know what I'm saying? And although that is true, but I put it like this: as being a black man, um, this is not the struggle Olympics. We all got it hard and shit like that, but we are supposed to lead. And a lot of times, whenever we try to speak out on issues like this, we always get silenced. Nobody takes us serious at all. We come out and say, I'm dealing with, you know what I'm saying, some anxiety or depression or PTSD or anything up under the umbrella. You know what I'm saying? Um, a lot of times niggas will get laughed out the fucking room. They call you weak. They say, "Oh, just get over it." You know what I'm saying? Nobody realizes that our only ways of getting our emotions and shit out is through music or violence or both. You know what I'm saying? You can take a look at, which I'm going to make a whole live about this in the future. Take a look at your favorite rapper. Take a look at a Mo3, a Zero, a DMX, a Pop, a Kanye, a Andre 3000. Any you can fucking think of. Go through that whole catalog. Listen to the lyrics. Go read the lyrics. A lot of times they are expressing how they feel throughout their lyrics. Sometimes we don't, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, so people gotta understand, like, man, this shit is all around us. And we're constantly trying to find ways to express ourselves in a healthy way. But shit, how else are you supposed to act when you don't know any better? When there's nobody going into these neighborhoods and teaching us, guiding us along the way. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck we supposed to know? That's why I always tell my kids and even my nephew is in college right now. Say, my nigga, don't be so hard on yourself. If you make a mistake, that's all right. Take your L, lick your wounds, bounce back. And after you bounce back, now that you know better, learn from your mistakes. And now that you learn from your mistakes, now if you choose to do this shit again, then that makes it a choice. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back to this shit though, fuck. I go too far from this shit. So, a black child with a meltdown is described as aggressive, obstinate, and oppositional, she says, as opposed to traumatized, depressed, and anxious. Let me say that shit one more time. So, a black child with a meltdown is described as aggressive, obstinate, oppositional, she says, as opposed to traumatized, depressed, and anxious. Those expectations follow black boys through adulthood and in the healthcare system, increasing the odds that doctors will view black men as a lost cause and provide subpar care. She stressed that she does not have any direct knowledge of the deficiencies in the care of Daniel Prude, but she said, like, black men, like Prude, are disproportionately likely to be misdiagnosed, mistreated, and written off as a result of structural bias and unconscious racism. The medical center and spokesperson said the psychiatry department's Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Culture Equity will evaluate Daniel's treatment for potential bias. He said the medical center recognizes that we have a long way to go before we can a group of University of Rock wrote in the open that Daniel Prude was by our system. Hmm. Not only do our current of healthcare holes for the individuals such as Daniel to follow through, but they do so in manners which are fraught with racism, students wrote. Medical center administrators acknowledged systemic gaps in our community care for people in crisis and said they are cooperating with all the investigations that are underway to determine what we can learn from this terrible event. You know what I'm saying? And just to give you like a little overview of this bullshit going on across the nation. In March 2018, a patient with the history of schizophrenia, post-traumatic stress disorder, and suicide attempts arrived at Russell County Hospital in Kentucky complaining of alcohol withdrawal, depression, anxiety, and pain. An hour and a half later, the patient was discharged with instructions to follow up with this or her primary care provider and take medications as prescribed. 2 hours later, the patient was back in the same hospital. A physician's notes said the patient had drunk a bottle of Benadryl in order to kill self. In August 2018, federal inspectors found that UT Health in Pittsburgh, Texas, East Texas, hospital in East Texas, discharged a patient who had verbalized a plan for suicide. The patient got a ride to his truck from the county sheriff later on that day. That patient was found dead in the truck from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. All right. Big salute. Shout out to everybody that's in here. I appreciate y'all. I'm almost done with this shit. Last summer at Stafford County Hospital in Kansas, a patient arrived in the emergency room saying that she was drunk, that she had drunk a half liter of vodka because she was so upset and wanted to die. She told her hospital staff that she started drinking that day after 2 years of sobriety and that she did not feel safe to go home due to the presence of alcohol. The hospital discharged her 11 minutes later. And earlier this year, inspectors found that a patient with a history of psychosis went to the emergency room at Mercy Hospital in St. Louis and told staff that she needed to get back on her medication. She was delusional, disoriented, homeless, and unable to give her name. She was discharged with a voucher for cab fare. All right? Mind you, read this shit again. She was delusional, disoriented, homeless, and unable to give her name. She was discharged with a voucher for cab fare, but no follow-up appointments or services and no plan to ensure she got her medication. What part of the game is that? You know what I'm saying? Lastly, and I'm about to drop this link. A spokesperson for UT Health East Texas said that the health system has since implemented a process for staff to thoroughly document mental health concerns in patient records. Mercy Hospital in St. Louis said it takes the health and the safety of each patient very seriously, regardless of race, ethnicity, and or the ability to pay. Now that's easier said than done. And you know how that shit go. You know what I'm saying? They always on some fuck shit. So that being said, now I got the hard part over. I'm about to drop this link if my shit act right. Hold up. Salute to everybody that's in this hole. You know what I'm saying? Let me find this link, y'all. We can get up in there. Give me a few minutes. This picture up, that's right here. You know, after his death, you know, protest, you know, some protested, you know what I'm saying, who a group of, you know, pink people, blue people, whatever you call them, pork people, them people. You know, protesting. You know, this shit is sad. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of times we have a hard time with putting shit in perspective. You know what I'm saying? We have a hard time with recognizing what's going on in this world. You know what? I take that back. I don't think we have a hard time realizing this. You know what I'm saying? I think we come to social media and places like this on YouTube to escape. YouTube for a lot of us is a escape, escapism. And I'm gonna get into that shit too. Some shit like this. Whatever we deal with, whatever we deal with in the outside world, because the outside world is so vicious, so cruel, it's unforgiving, you know? So we have to be mindful of not only what we've been through, but what everybody else has been through. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? Oh, when I see people, when I started really caring about mental health, I started going through my own transgression and shit like that. I didn't come out of that office the same way. So when I see people, I see a story. You know what I'm saying? When I see people, I see a story. And that's everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? Salute. Salute. Salute to everybody in this home, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's do a little cloud tracing right now on this home. All right, so look, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold on real quick. Let me get this link, and I'll be right back. All right, let me see. Let's get this shit back up here. Hold up real quick. Gotta get this shit right, man. Hold up just a minute. Mm-hmm. Oh, this whole tripping. Hold up, man. I don't know if okay. Can you there's the link to the StreamYard. Can on my mods. Pin that back. Hold up. I'm doing it. All right. I feel like an old man doing this shit. No goddamn well. I don't have to go back to my old form, but I just like this shit better though. But there's a link. If one of my mods in here, K Kira, can you pin that to the top? Tippy top. You know what I'm saying? Get niggas in this hole. If y'all want to call in, call in. If not, I'll say what I got to say. Get the fuck out of here. Been in for 40 minutes. I got my shit off. I gotta go. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the fuck wrong with me. I don't know. Hey man, You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, my mama. She's always say, you better leave them nasty girls alone. But mama, they nasty. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. RP my mama, man. Realest niggas out here. Let's see. If I got nobody to pull up, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. Can I do it right here? The link is in there. I don't know if it's pinned because I'm going off of one screen. Trying something different. But if not, you know what I'm saying? I go ahead and say what I have to say. Yeah, man. This case of Daniel Prude. Rest in peace to Daniel Prude. Condolences out to his family. I know a few months ago, like I said, the officers put these whole ass niggas back on the screen. They were found, or they wasn't charged. They wasn't charged at all. You know, I'm not gonna lie, man. I hate to hold on and put this shit back up there for me. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 Copyright Act, blase, blase. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, all these whole ass niggas right here, man. Everybody involved were not charged. You know what I'm saying? But we can learn something from this story. You know what I'm saying? Like I said plenty of times before, ain't nobody coming out to help us. Ain't nobody coming out here to save us, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Everybody think Jesus coming back and everything's gonna be all right. And, you know what I'm saying? All type of shit like that, but nobody coming to save us. We gotta save ourselves, do what we can to help each other up, lift each other up.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. My picture may not have shown up because I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone, and I typically
It's
don't
like
come
I
this
am
way.
too.
Oh,
Uh huh.
okay. So
Yeah.
this is sad to me. Um, I have a couple. I'm alarmed in a couple of different areas. Um, I don't want to make excuses for the police,
Mm-hmm.
but and I do think they probably need to incorporate some sensitivity uh, training for mental health. But if I was a cop, or
Right.
if I had a family member that was a cop who encountered the behavior, I don't know that I would go to the extreme,
Mm-hmm.
but on the outside looking in, we don't know what the whole um, encounter was like. Uh, we don't know if there was a threat on their life. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know if the strength was intense. We just don't know because yes, he's outside butt naked, but he was able to tolerate that temperature in the mental condition that he was in. Now,
True.
on the flip side of that, I'm a little irritated on not irritated, that's not the right word, but maybe disappointed in his brother and his family because the outpour and the the protest that they had after his death, why was wasn't that protest in his life. And if you didn't want to deal with him, then why do you expect for the police or somebody else to have to deal with him other than a mental facility that's trained
Right.
to be able to help that? See, that's why I'm a little torn, and that's why I said we missed it all the way around the table. It's sad all the way around the table because the reality of it is when we have severely mental dis, uh, disability in our family and we try to put up with it, we lose interest in it and it becomes an inconvenience to be, if we're going to be real, we really don't want to deal with it. Right.
Right.
So when they leave, we don't lock the house up or secure them in to the point where we can try to minimize them hurting themselves. So if he was released from the hospital the day before and he went to a family member's house or went home, why was he able to get out?
All right. Well, let me interject here real quick, and
Okay.
I'll let you go. When I was, you know, looking this story up, because I heard of the story, and I've been meaning to get to the story, but
Hmm.
it it's never too late for something like this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think his brother Joe and Joe and Valerie, that's his brother and his not the brother's a sister-in-law. I think
Hmm.
they tried their best. It's um I don't want to say a burden,
It
but at the
is.
same time,
We,
if you don't know how to take care, like I said like earlier, he jumped down 21 flights of stairs head first, and the day before that, they went outside just in time to catch him from getting hit by a train. They have train tracks behind their house, and they said he came within maybe an inch or two or three, or maybe a foot or however many, but he came close to getting hit by a train and run over by a train. So at that point,
hmm
I'm thinking his brother was like, well, just having him inside the house and trying to lock him up, you know what I'm saying, and things like that,
hmm
um, wouldn't necessarily be healthy. And I think they did the best thing that they thought, you know what I'm saying, was available. They took him somewhere where they thought he was going to get care. I'm not sure whether they stayed with him or not, but I think they were there with him the whole way. And then once they got him back to the house, once the hospital they called and they released him, his brother said, well, he was calm, you
hmm
know? And then
hmm
he asked his brother for a cigarette, and his brother went to go get him a cigarette. And that's when Daniel took off. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think they tried to do the best that they could, but at the same time, on the flip side of it, the police, a lot of the police are just now getting people that are um, uh, educated with mental health needs. They're like the mental health strike team, not really a strike team, you know what I'm saying, but like a mental health, like they go with, you know what I'm saying, the police and they, you know what I'm saying, but that's still a very new concept. A lot of states don't even have that yet. So
Right.
you got the officers, they don't teach them how to deal with that, and pretty much, they laid him down like an animal. You know what I'm saying?
I
Now I
get it.
know it's not their fault that he was naked, and
Hmm
it ain't their fault that he spit on them. Something that they follow a protocol with putting the spit hood on them. I've seen that before.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking like, okay, it's cold. It's upstate New York. It's sleeting. Get this man warm. You know what I'm saying? Or find some way. You know what I'm saying to get him. I don't know. That's where that's where it kind of gets great to me. You know what I'm saying?
hmm I
It's
can
that
see
part.
that. Right.
Because at the
Because
same time,
they
it's like,
have to
well,
lay him down. If he broke out running with Carl Lewis speed,
yeah,
uh, so catching him was one thing, and securing him, and he's spitting and fighting, and we can only imagine what else. Laying him
yeah,
down to handcuff him had to be done. I just,
right,
as a race of people, I don't want us to just find everything wrong in what is has to happen with our normal temperament and with mental health temperament. It's just not easy. So some of these things had to happen, and we can't look over that
right,
because it's cold outside, or because he's naked. I get it.
right.
I understand. My heart goes out to that. But on the flip side of that, can we be honest and see why they wasn't found guilty? Or are we going to press the issue as if something else could have been done? Because when we do that, we're saying
Mm.
that more could have been done on our end as a family member.
True, true.
So I think we have to take on as much responsibility and ownership as we expect other people to as well. But a lot of times we want other people to, we sick of it, we tired of it, let them deal with them, let them go. Ain't nobody gonna, all that type of stuff kind of sits in until something happens.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? And
Yes, ma'am.
and when we are really truly going to look at mental health, we can't from them than we expect from ourselves, because they really are our loved ones. We can't
Hmm.
expect for them to love them and handle them more better than how we love on them and handle them.
True. That's true.
So I think if anybody is at fault, it's the facility that let him leave.
Yeah, and that was one of my main points also. And the facility is at fault, but there's a history of facilities not
Bruce.
being equipped
Mm,
to handle things like this. Like I was just reading about those like few stories all over the country where people have come for help and they give them this and that, or they send them right back out there into the world. Um, and they are vulnerable. Like that lady who was homeless and she needed, what I'm saying, she came in saying that she needed care. They sent her home with a voucher for a cab. Now, where's she getting the cab to? She homeless.
yeah. So was
you know,
she there because she was homeless, or was she there because she really had some mental issues going on?
she came there on her own, saying that she needed some help. She needed, what I'm saying, that she needed some help. She needed care. Um, Documents say that she was delusional. What I'm saying? She was, just disoriented and all things of
So
that nature.
and she didn't have any family.
No.
Okay,
And,
and
and
she didn't. Okay, so where is the state facility who is supposed to take them in, whether they have a place to stay, whether they have insurance or what have you? See, I think for the most part, I think the breakdown is the facilities and the hospitals and um, the mental health care system is what's broke more so than I. I'm not saying that the police is not broke, but I
hmm
don't think that they are fully equipped to know how to handle that versus giving people the help that they need, whether they've been in jail, whether they're homeless, whatever the circumstances would be. I just think that there's a lot that needs to be done. I think there's a lot of missed opportunity for family. I think that we have to take ownership. I think that the police department and their training has to take ownership. And I think that the hospital facilities have to take ownership, because the reality of it is, with everything that's going on, the mental health possibility, the numbers and statistics is going to probably rise before we really get through this pandemic, and this this disconnect that the world is going through right now. So, where do we put our voice? This is why I love your podcast. This is why I take this part really, really serious, more so than anything, because it's been needed, and it's going to increase on being needed. We got people who, it's not just white people who jump off of um, 50, 50 flight out windows and stuff. Used to be that was not our choice of hurting ourselves. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Hmm.
So, but that has kind of changed now. Some of the hangings that we see are intentional. We used to think it was just, white people doing it. No. And it's been happening more often than not. So what's in place? What are we doing? Who's telling us how to handle that? How much input do we put in it? Do we have a voice? Should we be picketing? Should we be vocal? Should we be in front of the facilities? I mean, what should we do? I mean, I know you don't have the answers, but that's just kind
Right.
of where I
Well,
went with
yeah.
this story, and it's sad. It's sad. I've dealt with it on more than one area, but I have dealt with it in my family with
Hmm.
a young man who said that he wasn't going back to jail. He didn't care what nobody said, but he didn't want to give up that life. So when you're
Yeah.
back up against the corner,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Most definitely. I
you
mean,
know, and then I had another nephew who was trying to get me popping with the fact that they did something to him. No, no. I can't fall off into that, that scenario of making it be they did it when it was clear he said he wasn't ever going back. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know. So my other nephew wanted me to fall off into that trap and get popped. But once they started saying, how they knew it was, and the police was even trying to say that they felt like it was an accident that happened, it's like, no, he meant what he said, and we missed the mark.
Right. Right. And
We missed the mark.
there's definitely like a huge gray area. Like, so like I know a lot of times we all like to think about life being in black and white.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, life is full of nuances. Life is a huge gray area. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
when you add in the factors of where we grew up at, the mindset of where we grew up at, and the customs, and who raised us, and um, you know, things like that. Um, it, that gray space can get even bigger. So
Right.
it is difficult, and we are pretty much way behind in care. And we've had people who are have always been strong advocates for mental health, but they don't necessarily get to shine like some other people do. A
Because
lot of people don't
are you talking about
don't.
for black people or just people in general?
for both, but for black people, that's even worse.
It's even
Like,
worse.
like
Mhm.
a lot of folks don't know who Dr. Francis Cress Wilson is. She was talking about a lot of things like this a long time ago. But you got to go and dig through the archives to even find, you know, um, her talking or her speaking or her books or what I'm saying. Just people like that, you know, who are important in talking about mental health in all areas because it branches off into, to be honest, infinity. To be honest, there's so many
Yeah,
places
because
that you
I'm
can
about
go.
to ask you how did you find out about the doctor? Who tells us about the doctor? How will we even know that this is somebody that should be a reference to research? How do we know?
Right.
And I'm asking you that, Trill, because
Uh huh.
on average, African American people are embarrassed to even talk about it, right?
Right.
So that means that if we really don't want to talk about it and we just make it a ugly thing, or we talk negative about it or hurt people's feelings about it, then definitely we're not gonna say, let's research this. Let me take it the next step, or who do you recommend? We don't do that. So how would we know to even research? Because you have just said a name I've never heard of in my life.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I've never heard of it. But if nobody is bold enough to even introduce us to it, we'll never know. We'll have an opinion about it, but we'll have an opinion on it based on just the way we think about it. But it won't be an opinion wrapped in facts. So
Right.
that's why I adore your channel, because now you have just dropped a gem. You have just gave us a seed of a name that we may have to research. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you
Yes, ma'am.
if nobody would have told us, we would have never known.
Right. And I'm gonna do a
Okay, so
show
go ahead.
about
I'm
her.
sorry.
Most definitely, I'm gonna do a show about her. Just a couple of them and her research and her books and things that she was talking about. Most definitely.
So I'm going to go ahead and get off now, because this would definitely be one that I can share. Um, and I'm glad that I'll be able to share it. Um, because it has a whole bunch of hidden little gems in it that
Yes, ma'am.
maybe be able to help somebody, who may be secretly going through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And you just gave them a way to get some help. So
Most definitely.
kudos.
Oh,
Woo!
and
Thank you,
also,
Trill Pill to Hell, man. Go ahead.
and also,
Hmm.
I'm trying to work on my expletives. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I that's just my I listen, I understand all of them I won't be able to, and some of them I will. Listen, I am learning to take the good with the bad. Huh? He ready for me to pick him up? You need me?
Um, I'm finishing my DHA right now.
Oh, you're gonna take your DHA? Okay, that's gonna make you smart. Give me some knuckles, man. All right, thank you. Okay, yeah, I'm big on kids taking DHA. To get their brain as sharp as can be, and to give them the energy that they need to be able to weather this storm with
Mhm.
school, these changes.
Yeah, yeah,
So they know when I'm around, okay, I'm going to ask you about that DHA.
yeah. I'm gonna have a
So
lot
that
about
was
that
him
too.
letting me know he was going ahead and taking his. Yeah, we need to know that. Our kids need to know that. We got kids that they gonna put ADD or whatever them letters are. that's saying that they can't focus or
Yeah.
they have mental disabilities, they need to be on DHA.
Yeah.
They need to be on that. They own it, right?
Yeah. They on a lot
They
of
give that supplement
they up on game.
to their kid. They, yes, but who teaches us?
And
Yeah,
there lies the problem.
there li-
There lies the problem.
there lies the problem. There
Who
lies
teaches
the
us?
problem.
Who is going to bring
Who teaches
all
us?
this, all the information down into the
So
nooks and
imagine
crannies of,
me
you know?
in my family saying DHA. They like what? Where's she? Where's she coming with what? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like
Hmm.
now I'm having to pull teeth with them, introducing them to something that should have been introduced to us long time ago, instead of giving our African American kids Ritalin and all of this stuff to further put them in a category of depression and suicide. So that's a whole
Yeah.
nother side of it that we don't even want to touch, because a lot of medicines have suicidal side effects. But I'm gonna leave that for you to come to talk to us about it another day.
Oh yeah, yeah. Trust me, that is definitely on the docket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's on the docket because I can pull from
Do you
personal
understand what I'm saying?
experience on
But
that.
who talks to us about it? Who talks to
Right,
who talked to us about it? Who introduced us? Who educates us on it?
right. Well,
That's my that's why, yeah.
and that's
Hmm.
what and that's that's a part of why I have this podcast, and I've been doing this podcast for like over a year and some change, because that's one of the things, like when I get and I write down this stuff, and I talk to my partners, and they going, you know what I'm saying, through everything, and that's one thing that we always come back to. Like it doesn't matter what conversation that we have about mental health and everything that's inside of it. The one question we always look back to: well, who's going to tell us this?
Hmm.
Who is going to come and tell these young men and women in the nooks and crannies, in these hoods and ghettos and barrios and whatnot, whatever we call them? Who's going to give us this information at a young age? You know, um,
Hmm.
we are not. We're just not armed with that knowledge. A lot of things we don't know,
Absolutely.
like when it comes to whether it's financial or financial health or mental health, we're not armed with that knowledge, and before we know it, we're grown and we're just going through
Hmm.
life winging it,
Right.
winging it. Like we think, what I'm saying, like we think we know, but we have to learn the hard way. And how many times our people learn the hard way? You got a lot of people who are locked up right now who didn't know any better, you know, that are,
Right.
what I'm saying, and they don't get the help that they need while they're locked up. So when they get out, or if they get out, or even while they're in there, they don't get the help that they need to become a better person. They get treated like animals, you know, all because they
Hmm.
made one or two mistakes. Now, some of them need to be locked up, the pedophiles, things of that nature. But even that,
Hmm.
it's supposed to be rehabilitation. That's something like there's a lapse somewhere. Where are the people that are
Yeah.
going to
Even
go into these people and find that lapse, but then kind of close that gap, or at least attempt to?
yeah, because there's a
You
root to
know.
their problem too.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, there is a root. Now, and somebody have to get to that root too. Uh, but nobody wants to get to the root because the root is under the rug, and black people don't touch that rug. I don't care
Well,
what I hate the rug. That is
right.
probably the only thing on earth I hate. I hate the rug that's in everybody African Americans' house from generation to
Yep.
generation. And it's a whole bunch of dirty shit up under there, where which is the root of a lot of our issues.
Yep.
It's up under the rug.
And it's
So
just a continuous
I'm
cycle.
not gonna hold
It's a
you. I gotta go.
vicious cycle. Yes, ma'am.
It's a
I
continuous
highly
cycle
appreciate you
until
coming on.
somebody says, "Let's lift this rug."
Yep.
Okay. You have a good night. Until I
Thank you.
have to
You too.
leave, I'm going to continue to listen in. But you have a good night, okay?
Thank you. You too. Be safe.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely, Keith. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it's supposed to be, though. You know what I'm saying? Like all this is supposed to be recovery. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie, man. You know, we got to look at all sides. You know, all sides of the problem, all sides of every investigation or anything that happens. Being open, you know what I'm saying, to try our best to not be blinded by what they put on the news and shit like that. We got to go and do our own research. And like I said before, um, there's nobody to come and help us, regardless of where you from. You know what I'm saying? You can pick you pick your hood in any city, any state, any county. Pick it. You know what I'm saying? It's just pick it. They ain't coming to help us. Whenever they come down to our neighborhoods, they're coming to extract resources. They're coming to pull out best athletes and best entertainers and shit like that. They ain't coming in there to arm us with knowledge about mental health and you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know, that's why we're so attached to people like a Mo3, people like a DMX. You know what I'm saying? People like a Zero or ESTG or Yo Gotti or just pick them. You know, so like I said, one of my favorite songs, like shit, you can go back in Zero's catalog and he tells a story. My favorite album is The Life of Joseph McVeigh. Go through that album and listen to that album. He tells you about his mental health troubles. My One of my favorite songs is by Zero. You know, of course, after I Hate You, Bitch, you know, that's the legendary song in M16 and all that is the song that's my favorite song from Zero is Happy Feelings. If you listen to Happy Feelings once, you're gonna listen to it twice. After you hear it twice, you're gonna go to the Chocolate Screw version. You're gonna sit there and listen to this man lyrics. He telling you how you feel. He telling you, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the angels in the psychiatric center, you know, helping him to feel like a winner. Got him taking Lexapro just so he can improve his mood. You know what I'm saying? He telling you that. It's right there in our music. You know what I'm saying? Another one of my favorite songs, and I'm gonna try to get a list of these songs and go through them and create a list of them where we can actually go through these songs, go through these lyrics, and actually get what the artist was trying to convey to us. If you are go check out please. Oh, go check out Eight Lost album. Go check out the the track Lost. Listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Go through Mo3 shit. Listen to it. Why do you think that this shit resonates with all of us? Because we can feel it and because we've been there too. We don't have moments where people hurt our feelings. We don't have moments where people betrayed us. You know what I'm saying? We don't have moments where we felt like we was all alone. We don't have moments where we felt like our back was you know what I'm saying, against the wall. We were back into a corner and we had to scratch to get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? We done all been, we all been in these dark places in our mind. You know what I'm saying? If you depend on, depending on where we grew up at, we see things that are not normal. That shouldn't be, put it like this. If you grew up in the hood, right? Like I grew up in South Dallas. Little did I know that the things that I was seeing in my neighborhood on a daily basis were not normal. Until I got out of South Dallas and started to travel around the country, that's when I realized, like, damn. Say, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Or, just travel and come back right to your hood. Go to a better, matter of fact, go to a better neighborhood, then come back to your hood. So there, we shouldn't see as much violence growing up. But us is normal because that's where we up at. Where you from? Whatever side of the city you, that's where you from. And that's what you used to. But that shit ain't normal. When you go out to other neighborhoods and you see how nice it is, it ain't no dirty condoms on the ground, it ain't no needles, it ain't no 45 niggas in front of the corner store. And everybody trying to sell you sacks of exotic Reggie. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's all in the front of Mr. K. Everybody got all the exotic mid. You know what I'm saying? Going to Little World. Everybody got the exotic mid. This nigga on the left side, he asking me for 75 cents so he can go and get a Lucy. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't normal. People need help. Every time I go back home, I see like my people hurting. You know what I'm saying? I see people hurting, people struggling, trying to find a way to get out of the bubble. Because if you sit in that bubble too long, you're gonna be, you pretty much a part of the ecosystem, and it's hard to get out. But for a lot of us, it's hard to get out. For a lot of us, we kind of need that to keep us level, to keep shit in perspective. Like whenever I go home, I go and I sit right back on that porch where I grew up at, and I observe and I soak all that shit in. You know what I'm saying? I soak all that shit in. Trying to find ways to help, and eventually I got something that's in the works that trying to work something out where I can create something that will help. You know what I'm saying? So y'all think about that, man. But like I said, I ain't gonna be here for a long time. It's getting dark, which means almost time for I'm at the cusp, but being that I got to go off the live with Miss Fee, I'm trying not to cuss. Shout out to Auntie. You know what I'm saying? FS hours are upon us. You know what I'm saying? FS hours are upon us. You know what I'm saying? So about to go in here. You know what I'm saying? Chill out. I appreciate. Yeah, FS hours are upon us. You know what I'm saying? I gotta try to keep this clean as possible. Just like your favorite Walmart CD. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody that tuned in. I appreciate y'all. I got love for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Polar Gang that's in this hole. Shout out to the Punch Gang. Shout out to the Empire and any other faction of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a YouTube faction. Soon I will have my own. I don't have a name for it yet, but I'm thinking of one. You know what I'm saying? Of my own YouTube faction. But until then, shout out to everybody that pulled up. Much love to y'all. I hope you guys have a good night. fellas. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all take care of y'all and stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to lead, you know. We got to lead our children. If you don't have children, we got to lead our people. And we got to take care of ourselves so we can take care of others. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the ladies in the house. You know what I'm saying? On the live. So if you know, matter of fact, y'all get at me behind the scenes. We're going to work something out. But most definitely. Matt Baker. This is the Baker man. You know what I'm saying? This is my buddy right here, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. You know what I'm saying? Big salute, Matt. Shout out to you, man. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got some trucking school stories. You know what I'm saying? A lot of crazy shit that went down in trucking school, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? All type of shit was going down. But shout out to everybody that's in here. Let me run down this comment. Shout out to Roaster Toast, pulling up, Alicia B, Auntie Fee, Polar. I don't know who Capping and Trapping is, but shout out to Capping and Trapping, DJ Fuck You Sue Me, Room Shaker, K Kira, Gordos, big salute. You know what I'm saying? Running BFH, you know what I'm saying? Somebody, hope I'm saying that right. And everybody else that's watching. And Life in Motion, Max Boogie, shout out to Max. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Max. Like, I fuck with Max. Big time. 414 Showtime, Life in Motion, Keek, you know what I'm saying? Auntie Fee, most definitely. I'm gonna leave that right there. That made me feel all warm inside. Hey, and also, Miss Fee, I be seeing you on Instagram. You be dropping them pictures. Say you'll be in there looking real cute. You know what I'm saying? Might have to pull up on you for a Sunday plate. You know what I'm saying? Might have to pull up on you for a Sunday plate, Miss Fee. You know what I'm saying? Be on Instagram looking cute. Y'all look at this picture on there. Oh, look at her with her little left girl. Shit. Nigga gonna pull up for that Sunday plate. All right, but anyway, look. You know what I'm saying? Phoebe over there looking cute. I be dropping my little hearts, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to be weird, you know, got a lot of, you know, people that maybe, you know, I feel like, oh, look at this Phoebe, girl, you better stop. Better chill out. You know what I'm saying? Better chill out, auntie. Better chill out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey. But on that note, shout out to everybody in the chat. About to go and get off. About to eat some rabbit food, you know what I'm saying? Some kale or something like that. Much love to everybody in the chat. Much love to everybody. Monumental. To be monumental. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Monumental to be monumental. And most importantly, stay trill and heal. This is a Trill Pill podcast. Live. Miss Fee looking cute. Looking real cute. Pull up on you for the Sunday plate. All right. Much love, y'all. Hey, hold up, man. Hold up. Hey, let me pop my shit. Hey, I'll be hearing y'all talking about, oh, ain't got no content over here. Ain't got no content over there. They ain't got no content. He ain't got no content. She ain't got no content. We ain't got no content. Well, here's some content. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring you all the good content. So if you like this content and you want some more of it, go ahead and support, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and right at the right corner, hit that cash out too if you don't mind. You know what I'm saying? You know, I ain't gonna beg you for it, but it's right there. I ain't got to. It's right there on the screen. So if you feeling a little, you know what I'm saying, drop that off. You know what I'm saying? The Trill Pill would definitely be happy that you drop that off. In the meantime, between time, I'm out this bitch.